Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Burlington. Today we are working on the stadium, the monorail that connects it to the casino and the city, and the surrounding areas. So here I'm starting off with the monorail connection. I've actually started north of the big park that is just west of the city. This area was originally an industrial area that I've now converted to residential, including this massive large park. So the monorail that connects from the casino across to the stadium has one extra stop right here in the middle, and that stops at this large park. And I'm actually really happy with how this came out. I really like the idea of just being able to jump on the monorail and then head down to the park and walk straight off the monorail straight into the park. So that's pretty cool. What I'm doing now is just a bit of detailing around that area. I didn't put too much effort into this as it's probably all going to be redone again later anyway. So I'm just throwing down some car parks and just filling in some spaces, moving some of the little buildings around just to make it look a little bit more neat, and just making it look all nice and tidy. We're about to continue on with this whole project between the casino and this location here, and then we're going to move back to the stadium and then connect the whole lot together in the end. So as you can see, they're already starting to use that car park, which is nice, and it will definitely fill up later. I'm pretty sure now it's always full of cars, so which is great. Here I'm just putting some extra planters and stuff like that in. It's always nice to have extra trees around. We can never have enough trees, you can never have enough gardens. People always love that sort of stuff, and if you actually look around in the real world, they're absolutely everywhere. So I'm like copying and pasting and just sort of filling in this area with these big massive pine trees. It gives that nice sort of holiday resorty sort of feel to it, which is really appropriate next to the big park. Here I'm filling in the monorail lines to go between the casino and that park. I really like the way it curves out across the water like that. It's a really nifty trick. Just moving those trees out of the way so they don't clip through the lines. And now I'm just sort of raising up the line to get over the train line. I also have to adjust this slightly and then add these artificial pylons after the fact. I've got a no pillars mod on, so most of my pillars just disappear automatically. And here we go, I'm just putting these in place to make it so the actual thing doesn't look like it's defying gravity or anything like that. Here I'm just tidying up the last of the fences of the park and just bringing it all together for those bits that I accidentally deleted. So, onto the stadium. Here I am just clearing out the suburbs in the local area. This is pretty much the entire area that I want to develop. And I wanted to keep that Blimp park, that Blimp stop. I'm using the Move It mod to move it, which is a bit of a mistake. You'll see later I'm going to have to fix that up. If you use Move It to move those Blimp stops or anything like that, you need to actually adjust the paths as well. Otherwise the Blimp will continue to land where the original stop used to be, which will in the future be a car park. So Blimp actually tries to land in the car park later, which is pretty funny. Here I'm just tidying up, adding a bit of details. And then I move actually onto the Blimp. So as I move the Blimp park in the middle, I put these cool 2 car parks on either side. These get used a lot actually, and I find that later on they get filled up quite a bit, which is fantastic. Always like seeing them being used. But they came out really good. Like I quite like the idea of having the Blimp stop right in the middle of this big massive open car park. Stadiums are generally surrounded by these big sort of open car park areas anyway. They attract a lot of people and a lot of vehicles, so you always need big massive car parks. And in reality, this car park will be absolutely minuscule compared to what is actually around real stadiums. They normally have thousands and thousands of car parks around them. So this is, even though it's a pretty big car park, it's still really small compared to what's in reality. But as per usual, I'm just adding some more trees and some more planters and making it a bit more park-like, and now I move on to the apartment complex that I've added as well. So I'm just putting 4 apartment buildings in. I do add a couple of extras by the coast off camera later. Next to the monorail station, you'll see those in the cinematics at the end. But here I'm just sort of tidying up these 4 little apartments and adding a little car park for them as well. It is quite common to have apartment buildings like this around stadiums, even though I wouldn't want to live in one because stadiums are super noisy. But some people like to be like where the entertainment is, and they sort of like this whole sort of entertainment precinct. And you generally find there's always people that are keen to live near stadiums and support their local teams. So once again, here I am just adding the last couple of details, adding a bit of trees, just sort of sprucing it up a little bit. Not a super amount of detail. As I said, I do want to keep the city kind of light when it comes to its detailing. I don't want to sort of kill my computer straight away. I don't have the best of rigs at the moment, so yeah, I want to try to keep it light, but still make it look good enough that it's nice to look at. It's got a bit of detail to it, you know. I want to definitely keep it off vanilla, but I definitely want to add a bit more detail to it. So here I am, as I said, once again, putting just the last of the trees and stuff in, and you know, just tidying up a little bit. Here is the last monorail station. Just popping that in on the coast there. I'm running the monorail lines up here to the park. As you can see, it sort of connects all together. I had so much difficulty actually with this monorail connection. This corner and this corner particularly were really, really tricky to deal with. I kept getting glitched out. I edited it out, but it took me forever to get that right. And here is the pathway for the blimp. As I said, the blimp is trying to land in the car park, so I had to like straighten that up. And here we go. So this is what we used to have. This, as I said, it was just a basic zoned residential suburb next to the stadium. Nothing fancy at all. We did have the blimp stop there, but that was it. And now afterwards, boom, look at that. It looks so much tidier and so much neater. I've got nice big car parks there, a bit of apartment complex there too. It looks more alive. The monorail station's in the back, and it all comes together super nicely. Once again, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave a comment below. I'll always love to hear from you. And see you next Friday.